RIP to objectively the greatest of all time. The reason why professional wrestling became pop culture, became popular, the first of his kind, the one and only, the immortal Hulk Hogan, also known as the real man, Terry Bollea. Condolences to his family, his friends. That hits them a lot harder than wrestling fans because they knew who he really was. And it's unfortunate as a wrestling fan. I was never a fan of Hulk Hogan. I'm still not. I'm not gonna be one of these fake people that says this and that and the third. No, I was never a fan of Hulk Hogan. Even before the racial shit and the political shit. The political shit didn't bother me because I'm not into politics anyway. That's just too complicated for me. And but the racial shit, that ain't what not made me a fan. But that amplified it, But at the same time, when you're just talking about this wrestling thing, whether I liked it or not, this guy was objectively the greatest. He's objectively on Mount Rushmore. We're talking about status. We're talking about impact, influence. Nobody, and I mean nobody, correct me if I'm wrong, was a pop culture professional wrestler before him. A lot of people say he took his gimmick from superstar Billy Graham. Well, let me tell you how this works. Superstar Billy Graham made it a hot line. Hulk Hogan made it a hot song. So it is what it is. Ric Flair, same thing with Buddy Rogers. Buddy Rogers made it a hot line. Ric Flair made it a hot song. So sometimes it just happened that way. Hulk Hogan took that and formed it and molded it into his own everything. Hulk Hogan is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, household names of all time. So, but Hulk Hogan, man, when I emerged on the scene of professional wrestling, of course Hulk Hogan was a name I've always heard since a kid. He was never one of my personal favorites. When I was a kid, I didn't like Hulk Hogan because he had a leg drop as a move. You know what I'm saying? Well, as I got older, I understood why the leg drop made sense. This guy's like 300 fucking pounds. You know what I mean? And he come from a time where wrestling was a lot more simplified. The 80s. So he come from that time, and he been around since the 70s and shit. And when he was in Japan, he's night and day. When you look at him in Japan, for people that say he couldn't wrestle, he was like Dean Malenko or Jerry Lynn or some shit. I want to say Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn's a little bit more high flying, but he was like Dean Malenko or Daniel Bryan or something in Japan. Go watch if you think I'm lying. But if you follow my channel, you know I have objectively praised Hogan on things you just can't deny. Hogan is got to be like top 5 greatest workers of all time because he made the concept less is more work. He's the blueprint of 5 moves of doom. But guess what? So what? He made you care about his matches. He made you watch. He was a polarizing figure. He made you give any shits what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So Hulk Hogan, man, he was a one of a kind. Literally, he was a one of a kind. He's easily one of the greatest baby faces of all time. And then he turned around and became one of the greatest villains of all time. So this guy was all around just great, just pure greatness. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of marks that might feel, they're so caught up in his wrestling bubble. Oh, he screwed Brett or he screwed this person. There's a lot of wrestlers that had a lot of bad blood with him and bad taste in him, sour taste in his mouth about the guy. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, it's all professional wrestling, bro. So what that he was a political figure in the backstage? Because when you're a top guy or top girl, they're all political figures. Do not get it confused. Your Roman Reigns, your Becky's, your Rhea's, Cena, Stone Cold, Rock, Shine, any top guy or girl, they're all politicians. If you want to keep your spot, you should be a politician. It makes sense. And let's just think if Hogan thought about everybody else's feelings all the time, we would have never got Hulk Hogan, bro. Whether I like it or not, we would have never got professional wrestling to cross over to people that have never heard of this art form. Sports entertainment. He is the blueprint of that shit. Him and Vince McMahon are the blueprints of what we watch today. I don't care if your favorite company is TNA, New Japan, AWA, whatever it is. He's the reason. He's the reason. I don't care if it's work rate. I don't care if it's AEW shit. He's the reason. He's the reason why we care about stories and characters. He's the reason for that. So, nothing but respect for this man, whether I liked him or not. But I didn't know this man personally. I'm just talking from a wrestling fan point of view. I didn't like, and yeah, some things crossed over. You know, really for me, it was the racial shit. That, okay, he don't like black guys. And really, he didn't want a black guy dating his daughter that wasn't successful. And I think I made a video even saying that he wasn't saying nothing that no black father wouldn't say or no Mexican father wouldn't say. So you can take it how you want on that. That's why it didn't bother me, because I didn't personally heard black parents say that. Oh, if you bring a white guy over here, at least he got to have some money. He got to be successful at least. So he's not saying something that nobody doesn't say. He just got caught on camera. That's all it was, and he's a public figure. But, I mean, it is what it is, man. He ain't the only professional wrestler with racial shit under his name. Jerry Lawler, Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, Greg the Hammer Valentine's on fucking TV saying racial shit. Roddy Piper had blackface. Y'all still love these people. So, you know, he's just picking and choosing. You know, it is what it is. It doesn't change what Hulk Hogan did. It doesn't change my view on Hulk Hogan. On the impact that he created, the sport I love, professional wrestling. He wasn't never my personal favorite, but it don't matter. He's the reason why I enjoyed a Rob Van Dam. He's the reason why I enjoyed a Sabu. Rest in peace, another one we lost this year. You know, but you know, he was a character, man. He was definitely a character. You know, brother. You know, and but Hulk Hogan, man, wasn't for him, we just wouldn't have what we all enjoy. That isn't part of this wrestling bubble, this IWC and all this. Wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this. So, it's all respect for Hulk Hogan. You know, and I know what he did to TNA. That made me really dislike him even more over the years. What he did to TNA, but then at the same time, he gave TNA more views than it's ever had in its entire existence to this day. TNA has never reached that pinnacle. Never. Even though WWE's trying to revive it and give it, you know, keep it prestige. But Hogan was the reason why people that never heard of TNA was watching. Hell, I give it to Hogan. He had the balls to go try to do another Monday Night War. It didn't last long, but it don't matter. I give him kudos for even trying to do that. And I wonder how his Real American Wrestling is still going to go on with Eric Bischoff. I really don't know. We just have to wait and see. But it is unfortunate we lost a GOAT. We lost a Skywalker, like I like to call him. He's one of the Skywalkers of professional wrestling. Now he really is in the sky walking, unfortunately. But, you know, sometimes a wrestling fan, we forget these people are people. And, you know, the immortal Hulk Hogan, you know, you believe it when you're when you're watching him. You know, you just seemed like Hulk Hogan was gonna be around. At least he was like, at least till he was like 100. I really used to think, all right, he gonna be around at least till like 100 years old. You know, but then you gotta think about his past. You know, his body been through a lot of hell. He came up in a time where drugs was real heavy, cocaine was all over the place, the steroids all over the place. He was part of a steroid scandal. Hogan got a lot of controversies. You know what I'm saying? With professional wrestling, outside of professional wrestling, with his son, his daughters, and his marriage, and everything that came out. You know, but I mean, he's a human. That's just something we all seem to forget. No man is perfect, bro. And he did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate that Hulk Hogan has left this earth, but boy, did he leave a mark on this earth. Boy, did he leave a legacy on this earth. I know he was already in the Hall of Fame, but hell, he could be inducted for Hollywood Hulk Hogan just alone. You know what I mean? Real shit. You know, but the NWO, you know, he could be inducted for two more. For the NWO, he could be inducted for the NWO. Just that alone, right? The most influential group of all time. Like, it's not even close. And I've gained a massive respect for Hogan. Before he died, I've been watching WCW on Peacock and just seeing why he was so great. You know, when he went to WCW and the impact, because he changed the business. You know, and but I was already saying this before when it comes to John Cena. People comparing John Cena to Hulk Hogan's heel turn. I already said it before. It's not even remotely close. It's not. First of all, you got to remember John Cena's heel turn is temporary. It's ending this year. It's not going on 2 or 3 more years after this. So how can you compare 1 year to what Hogan was there when he turned heel in '96? So he left in 2001 or two? Yeah, no, they ended in 2001. So he left in 2000. How do you compare those? What is that, like 4 years compared to one? How do you compare those? And then John Cena's heel turn has not turned heads and not turned the business upside down. Hogan's did. That's just big difference, bro. Huge difference. Hogan's one of the biggest draws we have ever seen in professional wrestling. You know, so the mark's going to mark out in hate. It is what it is, but y'all need to get out that wrestling bubble sometime and just be objective and just really understand logic. I'm speaking logic, even though I'm not a fan of Hogan. I'm not going to pretend like I am. But I can't never debunk what he's done, you know what I'm saying, for the business that I love. So, rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. Like I said earlier, condolences to his family. I really wonder how Kevin Nash feels. He's the last member of the original NWO. So, I know that's got to hit him a little different. He lost Hall. He lost Scott Hall. Now he lost Hogan. So, rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family and friends. Thank you, Hulk Hogan. Even though I wasn't a fan, but thank you for what you've done. You're the reason why I enjoy what I enjoy as professional wrestling. So, rest in peace. And we are out. Like, share, subscribe, dislike, all the good shit. We are done.